Hello and welcome to Debate Night in America. I'm Great Jakers 1113. I'm gonna be the cameraman tonight. In just a moment, we will hand it over to Round 5, but we are still waiting to begin. I'm going to make an announcement in the Discord server and all that. Hello, you're watching FTN. Today we have tons of news stories that we can cover on FTN news tonight, and that. But first we have a debate. We have a debate between candidates in the upcoming House elections. It'll be moderated by FTN's one and only Rotten 5. The candidates taking part in this debate will be a new debate. Hello, you're watching FTN. Hello, you're watching. And don't forget Newbie Noob, Oof 12, and Microwave, and a new Victor. I am super sorry about that. That was my bad. Forgot to mute the stream. Anyway.
How's it going, fella? Yo. We having a debate here tonight? We having a debate? Okay, so I'm here to debate as well. I'm running. I'm running for House. First act is I'm dissolving NUSA because it's full of pedophiles. That's my first act. My second act is to don't server mute me. I'm a very good candidate.
Jakers, don't do it. If you're a real one, don't do it.
Is about to begin. We're gonna switch over to the view of the debate.
No. Okay, we're doing this for you. Alright.
Hello, welcome.
I just see Alex drawing his
We're on,
point
and
3
we're on.
times. 4 God. Breaking news.
I don't.
I didn't
I'm
have the
gonna start this
graphics
for real,
already,
okay?
so I just
Please
used
be
that.
quiet. You're not in the debate, okay? You're not. Listen. Alright.
Welcome.
Alright.
Welcome, everybody. We have three
Everyone,
candidates
I'm
here debating tonight.
welcome
We
to the
have
first ever House
a new
debate.
I don't know how to.
This debate has been brought to you by FTN.
Microwave. We've got Microwave from the NLP.
You're a small news
And
network,
Newbie Noob,
and
Oof 12.
I don't know.
And we have our moderator,
Small news network.
former NLP chairman and Senator Rotten 5. How do you like my fake British accent?
Alright, let me quickly turn that up.
We now begin.
Everybody's volume.
We now
It's
begin.
fairly quiet.
Yeah.
We now begin the debate.
Is that good?
Hold on. The stream's a little laggy.
Alright, this is off to a fantastic start. Yeah, I know. Alright, while we wait for everybody to turn up their volume, let me explain. Actually, no. There. It's too loud.
Rotten, just like mainly turn up your volume.
Alright, let me turn that up. I know I'm a soft talker. Okay. It's at max. Is that good?
Hold on.
Alright, one of them just left. Gosh darn it. Alright, whatever. We'll just stop them. So, as I was saying, this is the House debate. It has been divided into 6 sections, each section lasting 10 minutes. At the top of the debate, everybody will give a 2-minute
Oh,
opening
they're both here.
statement. Gosh darn it. Okay.
My boys are here to support me.
Okay.
Never mind, they're gone.
Jakers, please serve and mute them when they rejoin. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, candidates will give 2-minute opening statements at the top of the debate. When we get into the first topic, they will give a brief 1-minute opening statement. All the opening statements will be uninterrupted. After that, we will move into regular discussion and debating for the remainder of the time, during which the candidates can rebuttal ideas and all that fun stuff. We ask the audience here to please remain quiet during the debate for obvious reasons like that. So we, and more importantly, you watching this, can understand what they are saying. Does everyone understand?
Yeah.
Okay. And Utiv. I don't know how to pronounce that. Do you understand? Not you. Other guy.
Yeah.
All right, good. Shut up, man.
Accidentally.
Jakers, give me admin right now on the Discord server, please.
Don't do it, Jakey. You need to have full
Jakers,
control.
please. Okay. Let's get back on track. Microwave,
Yeah.
you won the coin toss up. You will give the first opening statement. You won the coin toss. You may give the first opening statement. The time starts whenever you
Wait, how
start.
long do I have?
2 minutes. You have 2 minutes.
Oh.
Ready?
Okay.
Go.
So it starts now. A microwave vow to make the House of Representatives at least somewhat respectable again. Now, listen, I may not be the most efficient at what I do, but at least I get things done when I need to get things done. And listen, if you vote for me, a vote for me is a vote for constant upkeep of the House of Representatives. House of Representatives needs to be kept to a higher standard than any before. House of Representatives at this moment in time, House of Representatives at this time is the most disliked branch of government, and it is quite sad to see that. And I believe with me being elected, I can at least change some of that and at least bring those ratings up to a more respectable amount and to bring prosperity to our government. Thank you. That'll be all.
You still have 1 minute left. You want to
Yeah,
yield that?
yeah, you can yield it.
All right.
I yield it to Alex.
No, you're not. You're not debating. Please stop. Okay. On you, Dave. You can go now. Okay. You have 2 minutes. Ready?
Okay.
You
So
can start.
I did. I don't know. It's not hard.
I would just say that the House of Representatives needs more competence because a lot of the GOP lawmakers, like Lucky Copley, are absolute idiots. And I agree with what Microwave said that it needs more efficiency, and I yield the rest of my time.
All right. The first topic of discussion is going to be legislation. Anutiv, you can go first on this topic. Okay.
The meeting is adjourned.
Shut. Because
I'm such a humble person. I'll let my opponent go first.
Yes, you're letting him go first. So, first question. What legislation do you propose to introduce to Congress? Anutiv, you may go right now. Start. You have 1 minute.
The legislation that I would propose to Congress is
I really have no idea. I'm gonna yield my time to Alex.
Nice.
This is censorship. Let the man speak.
He's not even in the debate. This is a disaster right now. This is a disaster.
This is a
This
peaceful
is a literal
protest.
disaster. This is not okay. You know what? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. But whatever, Alex. If you want to speak, I'll give you 30 seconds. Okay, time is up. Wave, you may answer the question. You have 1 minute. What
Okay.
legislation do you propose to introduce to Congress? You may go.
Okay, so from the first day, I'll try and push past a bill that would decriminalize certain offenses, and then decriminalize certain non offenses that have no real targets that really harm no one, and and in around the same time period, I'll try and propose a bill that would deregulate certain businesses to allow for some form of economic growth within NUSA, if we can even have that. And then I will try to reach across the aisle to work with constitutionalists, Republicans, and the Democrats all simultaneously and try and bring forth at least a usable era in the House of Representatives. Yeah, I yield my time.
Good. Anutiv, you may rebuttal anything. You have 1 minute. You may go.
I have really
Anutiv.
nothing to rebuttal because I agree that there needs to be more bipartisanship, and I also agree that the Department of Commerce and Labor needs to work better to help improve the economy. I yield.
Okay. Do either of the candidates have anything they want to say right now?
No, I'm good, G.
Okay, you're not a candidate. Microwave, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I'm good, G.
All right, let me move on to the next question then. All right. You know what? You have 5 seconds. Now, okay.
Sick bars.
Okay. This is a disaster, but you know what? Next question. How will your legislation benefit NUSA? Microwave, you may go.
All right. Well,
You have a
I
minute.
kind of already said this, but certain non like the crimes that don't affect people directly, that'll pretty obviously decrease the crime rate in NUSA. Because, well, it's pretty simple. Because people won't be breaking the law if the law isn't there. Okay, that sounds a little bad, but it's not. But
Please let them speak. Let them. You know what, Alex? If you let this debate run on normally, I'll give you a minute at the end to say whatever you want. Deal? A minute at the end to do whatever you want. Okay. No. Microwave, continue. Continue, Microwave.
but yeah, I'll try and spur the job economy, let people at least make some more money, so they can at least defend themselves and purchase what they need and what they see fit. and then I would try and to propose something to allow more of a ease of campaign and ease of election registration within NUSA. So people with certain political disabilities, in the sense of they're new to NUSA, they at least have a generalized chance of campaigning within DC and other things like that. And yeah, yeah, that's about it. I yield my time.
All right, on YouTube, same question. How will your legislation benefit NUSA? You have 1 minute. Go.
It would bring a sense of like it would bring a sense of not the I don't know how to say this. It would improve the current uselessness of NUSA in the fact that everything that all the executive departments do means nothing. So it would bring a new standard of actually having purposeful role plays within the community. I yield.
All right, microwave your rebuttal.
Uh,
Do you have anything to say?
there's nothing to
Anything
really
at all?
rebuttal. He's speaking truths. But yeah, for me, I would try and decentralize a lot of the government. I would try and decentralize a lot of the things to allow prosperous government deregulation within the job market and within the economy. And I finally yield the rest of my time to Alex Darlington.
Nope. Okay. Okay, microwave. Let me ask you this question directly. Okay, you do realize that decentralizing the government will create a lot of chaos and a lot
Oh,
of
I know.
for the standard people.
Now
Do
you'd
you
think that,
or
but in multiple times throughout history, there have been successful minimalized governments in republics, in democracies, and many other things. I look over to Catalonia in Spain during the Spanish Civil War in the 40s. They had a successful decentralized government during that period of time, and I believe that not to that extent of completely decentralizing the government, but something that reduces the power of the executive branch to reduce military affairs in any other country, and to simply make Congress and maybe even allow the people to vote on certain wars that they might support or might not support. So yeah, yeah, that's about it. I yield my
okay,
time.
okay. Let me get the bot out of here. Okay, no, no, no. If you really want, just shut up and I'll give you as much time as you want at the end. Okay, and you too. Okay, Anutiv, you may speak. You have 1 minute. Go.
Speak about what? A
Anything.
rebuttal?
I'm giving you a minute. Yes. Anything at all. I'm giving you a minute to talk. Okay.
I have no rebuttal to what he just said. I think I
Do you have a
no
Do you have an
rebuttal.
agenda or anything?
I have
Anything you want to talk about?
my agenda is bipartisanship. That's my agenda.
Okay, talk about that then for a minute.
I actually yield my time to Mitch.
He's not even in the
God.
debate. He's literally not even in the
Oh
debate.
no,
You know what? I'll give you 30 seconds because
that's a
we
good
need
statement,
content right
Mitch.
now.
It's a good statement.
Okay. Okay, do any of the candidates have anything I want to say, or should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, next topic.
Next topic.
Next topic. All right, the next topic is going to be corruption. The question is, and this will go to Microwave first. How do you plan to curb corruption in NUSA? Microwave, you have 1 minute. Go.
Um, how do I plan to curb corruption in NUSA? Oh, it's quite simple. deregulation has shown that corruption is simply quite useless and it's not really going to get you any gains if there's less executive power then and more power put to the people than say the executive or judiciary. It would allow that people themselves decide whether what the country should do rather than individuals in the government. And and I would pass certain laws that would prohibit uh, certain amounts of money being sent to others within certain masses. Now, I'm fine with
Time
a
is up.
small
You
amount.
wrap up soon.
I'm fine with a smaller amount, but large amounts that's not good. And I would introduce maybe a couple bills that would work on jail time.
Your time is
Um,
up.
all right,
It's
thank you.
definitely up. All right, all right. On you, Tiv. How do you plan to curb corruption in Noosa? You also have 1 minute.
So I agree with somewhat of what Vicrowave said, but I also think that we need to hold our elected officials to a higher standard because there will always be under the rug bribes. I mean, that's how it's always going to be. And no reduction of power is going to change that. So I think we need to improve the election system of NUSA in the fact that it these candidates need to be respected. They need to be vetted and things like that. And I yield.
All right, Vicrowave, you may rebuttal. You have 1 minute. Go.
Well, that's great if you want to go through them, kind of vet them before they're elected. But I just think elected officials are people too, and some of them are underaged, some of them are quite old, and I believe that simply vetting them isn't going to do much. It might sound good to put it on paper, like, oh, we're going to vet this person, this person, because they're new. That sounds great, but in reality, it's not going to do much. And because we have to hold them to the same standard as everybody else, we shouldn't hold them to a higher standard or a lower standard. They should be equal because they are just people that the people have elected. And I believe that just a simple couple rule changes and laws enforced is enough to curb corruption and if the lack of major powers in the executive or judiciary branches or even in the Supreme Court, we could curb corruption by at least 5 to 15%, seeing as there's no real reason to be in that corrupt state, to act corrupt, and to take offers from people. There's no real reason if the power has been lessened, and I just think simple rule changes and laws would be quite enough to do that. I yield my time.
All right, on you, Tiv. You may speak.
Well, I think we do need to hold them to a higher standard because they are elected and they are representing us. And it doesn't matter if they're people, obviously they're people. And they need to act in a professional way because of their office, not because they don't get a pass because they're a person. Everyone's a person. There needs to be accountability. And I don't have anything more to say.
Can I speak?
Yeah, you may go.
All right. So the only branch at this moment in time in the government that actually has a common age separation or common age is the Supreme Court. It's because you have to actually be able to speak and type fluently, and the House and the Supreme Court and even the presidency, there's no real age to be that. And there's been many children in the House of Representatives. There's been many children in Senate, and they're winning these races because, well, they're simply just children speaking to other children a lot of the time. And I think holding them to a higher standard isn't going to do much, especially for corruption. It's just you're telling like a boss saying, "Hey, don't do that." What are you gonna do? Nothing. But instead of saying he's a boss, say, "Okay, it's an employee." You said, "Hey, don't do that." They're gonna listen to you a lot more because they're an employee. There's no like not a lot of that power difference, you know. Because if you were like a king, and somebody else is like just somebody, and they tell the king, "Hey, don't do that." The king's not gonna listen. That's pretty obvious. But even if enough people tell the king's not gonna do it. But if the king were to not be were to be labeled as a king, but have similar powers to, or just have similar control to the people, except being as an elected official, it's just you are elected by the people. The people would see you as a lot more of an equal, and it'd simply curb corruption. Seeing as what are they gonna do? They're just you, except now they have a fancy name by them, a representative, senator, president, whatever it is. And the only real branch that has any sense of control over what they do and what they say is really the Supreme Court, and
All
that's
right,
just
wrap it
because
up.
there's simply that larger gap of people there that are of very similar ages, and they can talk to each other without screaming or fighting. And I think just simply saying we need to hold them to a higher standard, that's going to give that power difference, and that's not going to make much of a difference. All right, I yield my time.
Well, I
All
don't
right, all
think
right.
your idea is going to make much of a difference either, because you're saying that you I give them the same power as a citizen, or let's just say standard as a citizen. Well, there needs to be that central person saying, don't do this. If there's no leader, there's no person above you giving those orders. Are you proposing that the elected officials aren't the ones doing that, but the clan managers doing that? And that's a question, not
Not at all.
rhetorical.
I don't think it's the clan manager doing anything. The clan managers should have very well, should absolutely have no say in anything within the elections or any of the election officials other than holding them. That's about it. I just think that if you physically make them think they are worth more than other people, they're going to believe that and they're going to hold that. And they're going to say, okay, I'm better than you because I got elected, because I'm at a higher standard than you. And then some citizens saying, hey, don't do that. That's not fair. That's not right. They're not going to listen to you. And then the citizen's just going to take it to a court, and it's completely out of the citizens' hands and up to the court, leaving more citizens out of control, leaving them with less control than they had before. I just think holding them to the exact same standard or very close standards, we can curb corruption by not giving them that borderline God complex of giving them power as
You have
saying
15
them
seconds, Vic.
as a representative, senator, or congressman in that general name field, that if we just treat them as equals, corruptions will be down, the corrupt acts will be down, and it simply is going to reduce corruption altogether if they just are equal instead of giving them that God complex.
All
Thank
right, your time is up. Anutiv, you may finish us off.
you.
I have no rebuttal to that, and I am ready to move on.
All right, we will move on to the next topic. That one is representation. How well do you think you will represent the American people in Congress? Anutiv, you may go first.
I think I will be a good representative simply because I will work across the aisle with everyone else elected into office in my chamber and represent everyone within my constituency rather than thinking, well, my district elected me because it's majority it's a majority Democratic. I would rather say my district elected me because I was a good candidate and I represent and I was a good choice for them and I will represent them. And I yield.
Microwave, same question. How well do you think you will represent the American people in Congress?
I think if I'm fully elected, that the party, the New Liberal Party, it's a fairly new kinda party. At this moment, we have 71 people, and that's like a majority Republican, majority Democrat, majority Constitutionalist, and just a bunch of older parties that physically couldn't hold on or couldn't get registered. They were all smashed into this party because we worked with them, we worked alongside them, and honestly, the New Liberal Party is quite a respectable party for being its size, such a small one. And I believe if elected, I bring to the table ideas from every single party, including parties not completely registered that I have helped set up, including parties that have simply been dissolved or been merged into bigger parties. I can take ideas from the Constitutionalist, the Republican, the Libertarian, the Democrat Party, all of them. I can take their ideas, I can put them to good use, finding a mid ground in between all of them, and finally presenting a bill, presenting bills that would bring support from the New Liberal Party, the Democrat, the Republican, the Constitutionalist, the Libertarian, everybody, and just the entirety of NUSA to see that the House of Representatives isn't as just what this party's ruling at this moment in time. We need to break that two-party system of constitutionalist or Republican, because at this moment in time, there's barely any Democrats in any seating of government, and so we need to bring in a third party, a strong coalition of parties from far and wide, to bring them together to understand each other and to really represent the people better.
All
I
right.
yield my time.
All right. Anutiv, your rebuttal.
I really agree with what he said because I think there needs to be a good balance. There can always be a majority, but there needs to be a balance of parties and people elected into office. And people deserve to be represented by all parties, not just straight Republican and or straight Democrat. I think there needs to be variation so that we can have the views of different parties in Congress and um, different views of parties, different party views in Congress, and still represent the values of the American people. And agree with what Microwave said about the New Liberal Party. I think it's a very respected party. The chairman is one of my good friends who I respect. And if I were not to pass candidates in the election, so basically what I'm saying is that I think there does need to be a good mix of parties for the people and to represent the people.
All right, Vike, do you have anything you have to say about this? Or
Nah,
no? All right. Next question. This one will go to Anutiv then. Do you think you are among the American citizens you are representing? Anutiv, you may go.
You know, I don't think we should be divided by party. I would say that at this time, NUSA is a very right leaning community, and but I don't think that my representing should be defined by party. Obviously, I'm going to be a party candidate, but at the end of the day, we should all be Americans and not be separated by politics. I yield.
Microwave, you may speak.
yeah, what was the question?
Question is, do you think you are among the people you are representing?
Absolutely. Absolutely, hell yeah. I've spoken to so many working class people within NUSA that have never run for an office before, or merely the people that have just held simple jobs in NUSA, such as the police, the firefighters, and I've spoken with many other elected officials, and I've worked with them. They ask me, they come to me and say, hey, what do you think the people would like? What do you think the people would generally support in this situation? I give them my honest opinion, and usually it's a great deal of support from the people when it does pass, or when it is put into action. So I think of course I represent the people. I run in a new. I'm running under the New Liberal Party, which is classical liberalism for me. And a lot of the people there, they have no idea what it's like to run for an elected office. They have no idea what a lot of this stuff is. And so they simply think, okay, this one person's putting in a bill, but they've DM'd me about 3 times saying, hey, support me for the next election. And I think those people are the most easiest to persuade, and they need a stronger candidate that would lead them in any way that they see fit, that would that the people lead the candidate into the way that the people want Nusa to end up as. And I believe that just the amount of people I've spoken to, just from my time in Nusa, from my time in Nusa, I can represent as many people as possible, just seeing as how they are and how they want to be, that I can easily represent them. I yield my time.
All right. Anitiv,
I have no rebuttal, and I'm ready for the next question.
all right. There are no questions in this topic, so we will move on to the next topic, which is DC activity. Now, as both of you know, Ridgeway costs 100 Robux, and we're on the horizon of free release of Ridgeway, which will boost activity there, and DC activity will fall. What ways do you have to combat this and keep DC active? Vico Wave, you may go first on this.
Now, I understand how a lot of the things work in Nusa, like such as the creation of a new server, and DC will lose activity, but at this moment in time, there is an average of at least 100 players, and there is a very large average on Ridgeway at this moment. And I think the second that Ridgeway is completely released, I don't think DC will completely fall because people are used to DC. They're going to understand DC a lot better than going to Ridgeway, and especially on a full free release of Ridgeway. There's going to be a lot of crime happening, a lot of crime, and there's going to be a lot of arrests because it's a new server. They don't want it to go to absolute complete shit, and the policing there is going to go up, leading to Washington's policing to go down, leading to people being extremely active on DC and Ridgeway simultaneously. Because I mean, they can only hold so many people at a time before the servers begin to lag and crash. I just think DC can hold its own, and if not, I believe that simple laws regarding businesses and policing, lowering the restrictions on both, will easily spur activity within DC, and probably adding more buildings or more things to do within DC, which I understand that'll take a little while because clan managers and the developers are not exactly the most cohesive groups. Seeing as Ridgeway took this long to finally be at least a paid release, and I believe just simply doing these small incremental things can easily spur activity in DC, seeing as it's already very popular, it's already very active, and the release of Ridgeway will have an effect, but it won't have as large an effect as many people think. I yield my time.
All right, Anitiv, same question. How will you keep DC active through the free release of Ridgeway? You may speak.
So, obviously, they're a big group. Releasing a new map gives them a good boost. I'm all in favor for new releases and new versions. I think that's exciting stuff and all that. But I think um, we really should enforce the fact that DC should be one of our, not one of our, it should be the main place to congregate um, and just go to. I don't think that we should have Ridgeway or Las Vegas or any of those maps. I think we should enforce the fact that DC is like it's the capital of. I mean, if you want to go if you want to be involved in American politics, you go to DC. So Basically, what I'm saying is that I think the clan managers need to work with departments like Jocal, for example, because of what a Vicawave said about adding new businesses and adding new just things to do. So I think DC needs an update. It needs to be even more new and fresh than Ridgeway. I yield.
Microwave your rebuttal.
Yeah. So just incremental updates, or maybe a larger update to the map and to the way things are in DC at this moment would easily spur activity, and you know, just simply small incremental updates would easily spur enough activity to show clan management that DC is fully alive and aware. Yeah, I yield my time.
All right, Anutiv, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No rebuttal.
All right, let's move on to the next question, which will be another topic, and that is departments. First question will go to Anutiv. How do you plan to benefit the departments in NUSA? You may go.
Well, I'm really glad that you asked that because I've worked at the Department of Commerce and Labor as the Assistant Secretary for Intergovernmental Affairs, and I've seen firsthand how departments die because of the lack of support from clan management. So, if elected, I would be a representative that would help support those dying branches because I have seen it, and my friends at DoCal, the High Command is a great group, and I've formed friendships with them, and I would work with them to pass bills to improve that specific branch, and the same would go for any other branch. But I'm just speaking from personal um, experience when I'm talking about DoCal because I've seen the effects that it has on DoCal. I yield. Toward those dying branches.
All right, Microwave, same question. How do you plan to benefit the departments?
I think excess of funding will easily spur activity and easily support the departments. I understand that some may die, but at the core of the reason they are going away and dissolving is because lack of activity and lack of funding. And if we could just have a massive ad campaign for anything that's maybe underperforming, and maybe just a simple tax on certain things you do, maybe just a massive ad campaign uh, within Roblox, within DC, within uh, NUSA itself, to easily spur activity and growth within these groups and within any programs. Yeah, I yield my time.
All right, let me follow up with that. How do you plan to make that happen?
Make what happen?
I'd actually like to rebuttal.
You like to rebuttal? All right, I'll let you rebuttal, then Microwave can speak.
All right.
Um,
All right, they are halfway through the debate. Sadly, we can't let them in. Sorry. All right, Anutiv, you may speak.
I agree with what Microwave just said because there needs to be a lot of funding directed to these departments. I mean, if they want to, what are they sorry, what are they making Ridgeway so expensive for? I mean, if they're making all this Robux off of Ridgeway and other future games and other past games, then they need to be allocating those funds to specific departments to help support them. I mean, what else would they be getting this funding for? It should go to the specific departments. It should not go to the personal pockets of the clan managers and the leaders of the group. So I agree 100% with what Microwave just said, is that the funds need to be used, the funds gained from all the activity that they have and the purchases on Ridgeway that they've gotten needs to be used in favor of the departments. I yield.
All right, you guys both mentioned funds and Robux from what I gathered. So let me ask both of you directly right now. How do you plan to make that happen? Microwave, you may go.
I plan on a massive ad campaign, passing a bill possibly to to introduce the ability for Nusa to go quite public on Roblox itself, to introduce new things to purchase within Nusa or DC, Ridgeway, or Las Vegas, any of those things, to have a massive, just incredibly huge ad campaign seen by Nusa unlike any before, to possibly collect a reasonable amount from each person, just having a simple flat tax for all NUSA members or majority of NUSA members that have certain highly held jobs within NUSA, and simply just reallocating those fundings towards programs that are dying or can't hold their own, to easily support them, to raise them to a bettering of themselves, and to train the people within these programs how to effectively use these new funds being given to them, and to train older programs that haven't had funds like these before, and just allow themselves to have their own free will while the government is supporting them to a degree, to allow them to prosper. But I just think a simple flat tax on certain things and reallocation of funding that is being spent on these greedy uh, clan management, and these people are quite honestly very greedy. They've been sued in real life before. They have been caught cheating, stealing, and bribing. Uh, and I just believe a simple flat tax on certain things will be enough to gather funding for these smaller programs or dying off programs, just programs in general. Yeah, I yield my
All
time.
right. All right. Anutiv, same question. How do you plan to put this stuff in action? You may go.
I do agree with what Microwave just said and the fact that they are very greedy. And where is all this money going? Because it's certainly not going to the executive department. And so, what I think needs to happen is some sort of action against the government. Not even the government, the clan managers, the leaders of the group. And I mean, it's really not even a bill. It just has to be a regulation that you need to use these funds for the departments of the group that you're running. Why are you running a group and charging these prices if you're not going to use the money in a positive way to support the group? So whether that's legislation or simply just you know talking to the clan managers and saying this needs to happen or your group is going to further die, but it just needs to happen overall. And I yield.
All right, Microwave, do you have a rebuttal?
No.
Anutiv, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No.
All right, let us move on to the last topic, which is the Noosa community overall. First question will go to Anutiv. Uh, what will you personally bring to benefit the Noosa community? You may go.
I think overall what I would bring is my just charisma and really activity to pass these bills and be an active legislator and just overall bring back the activity that Noosa used to have. Now, it is it is a very active community still, but um, just when you look at the group, there's 200K members. I mean, it could be a lot more active. It's active, but it could be better. So I think part of that is, the government is, the government is inactive, and these representatives are running for the power trip and not to actually improve it. So, just to improve the community, I would say I would work towards activity. That would be one of my biggest things to improve on. while in office. I yield.
Microwave, same question. How will you personally improve the NISA community?
Uh, well, if I am elected, I would I'd bring my stubbornness to generalize politics and not really shift my point unless I see fit that it helps the people. And if a bill is ever passed that I do not support, I'll let that be publicly known and how it can physically harm Noosa's activity or Noosa's just people. And I think just when I am elected, I can bring so many things to Noosa. I've spoken with so many people from the higher ups to just brand new people that have joined Noosa. I've spoken with them. I understand how they are and what they want in Noosa, and I understand the confusions with a lot of things. And I just want to bring ease and comfort to these people to allow them to easily navigate through Noosa without any problems of bullying or incitement of just violence on new people. And I think electing me can do a lot of change for Noosa and a lot of good for the House of Representatives, bringing activity and bringing just generalized new politics and new acting for the people to the House of Representatives, making it a more uh, suitable place for politics to happen, a more suitable place for the people to understand what's happening, and a more suitable place just for Noosa's political system, and allow for bills to be simply read for the people and not be an extreme confusion. I would like to bring the new people in to help understand if they ever are elected. This is how you read certain things. This is how they are written, and this is how things should be. Ignore all the corruption, the violence, the yelling, and the cursing at each other. We need to understand how to bring people together, to bring people's ideas together, and bring people's wants together to bring a better and brighter Noosa. I yield my time.
Anitiv, do you have a rebuttal?
No.
All right. Next question. This one goes out to both of you. How do you plan on combating toxicity? Anitiv, you may go.
I think I think there needs to be a defined line between joking and like actually being toxic, because I joke around a lot. I tell people to die. Do I mean it? No. But I think there does need to be a line drawn and understood about how uh, the difference between toxicity and just joking around is. And I can understand the difference of interpretation that it takes. But at the end of the day, I think in a professional setting, there needs to be professionalism. In a relaxed setting where we are just, um, you know, talking and messing around and just simply being people on Discord and messing around. I already said that, but the point is, there's a difference between professionalism, where there needs to be no toxicity, and a good attitude, and joking around, where there can be joking and messing around. I yield.
Microwave, how do you plan to combat toxicity?
Well, I wholeheartedly believe that toxicity is a bad thing within Noosa. I've seen it personally. I've experienced it personally in a lot of cases. And I think toxicity, as the level many people are saying that it's on, and then with the extreme just problem with it within Noosa, I don't think it's it's being overblown a lot. Toxicity overall has gone down within Noosa, and simple jokes are just being taken or have been taken the wrong way due to people just being unable to take a joke. And I I completely believe toxicity just isn't what it used to be. It's gotten so much better, and the people need to understand just by themselves what a joke is, and when somebody's being wholehearted and just hating on you. And I think if I need to ever step in to pass a bill or propose a bill to curb toxicity or to overall just stop it, it would be a complete overstep of any form of governmental office. But if it ever is needed, then I would be very distraught and distressed that I would need to pass this bill. But I would make sure the people the people understand that there should be an easier way to make tickets and to report toxicity. Be much easier. It should be a part of the NUSA server rather than a completely different one. And I think a lot of things with the NUSA Discord needs to be trimmed down to allow ease of access, ease of travel, ease of discovery within NUSA to new people and to people that are experiencing toxicity. They need to understand that uh, they can be heard, and it's pretty easy. Go to the uh, clan against abuse server, and make a ticket, report the person, and they'll try and do their best. But I don't think usually it takes a while for them to respond to. I just believe it should be a lot quicker. Clan management can be used as a power for good within NUSA. It's just they lag behind quite severely, and I believe that a simple law, if ever need to be passed, to simply show the people that they are able to be heard and how to report a person, and that report is being listened to, looked through, and read through wholeheartedly and detailedly. I
Mhm.
yield my time.
All right, Anitiv, do you have a rebuttal?
Yes, and I think what he said was very true in the matter that um the mm, against abuse server should be more active and more opening to the reporting of it, but nothing else to say. I mean, nothing else to
Microwave.
say.
All right. Microwave, do you have a rebuttal?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. That was the last topic. Both of you will be given the chance to give a closing statement where you can talk about anything at all in the debate. Keep in mind this will only be 2 minutes long. So, yeah, Microwave, you may go first on it.
All right, so wholeheartedly, I'm speaking to both the moderators. I may not know you personally. I may not know you completely, and I'm speaking to the candidate by my side. I may not know you to any extent within NUSA, other than your username, your generalized political views within NUSA, how you vote, and all that. But I just think being able to understand the people is what's really strongly can easily persuade politicians. And I think within NUSA, if we can just get along a lot better by understanding each other and understanding why we are doing the things we are doing, then it's just a lot better. And I believe electing me can really push that idea into NUSA, into its political sphere, and make change and kind of shake up things that have been the way they are for so long. And I believe that electing into House can make that change. And I've spoken to people from all parties. I understand how a lot of them act, how a lot of them are, how a lot of them see things within NUSA. From the Republicans, the Libertarians, the New Liberal, to the Constitutionalist, and to the Democrat Party. To parties that have simply just completely dissolved and no longer exist. That I understand how things are, and it's gonna get better. It's gonna get it's going to get easier for you to use NUSA without toxicity, without bullying in any form. And I believe voting me can make a better change to NUSA and make a change for the better for NUSA. And vote for me is a vote for willingness to actually get my hands dirty within a lot of things, help change the things that plagued NUSA for so long that people aren't really seeing the problem until it's completely pointed out, and then they understand.
All
And
right, your time is up.
yeah, I yield my time.
All right, Anitiv, your closing statement. You may go.
You know, I think this debate was very productive in the fact that I learned a lot about this candidate and I gained respect for him because we can come together. We can come together not on just the basis of party. And you know, I think that there needs to be more debates like these, but overall, there just needs to be more bipartisanship and getting to know your candidate and overall getting to know your elected official, and whether that comes with more transparency or just simply putting in the time and effort to get to know people. But overall, I think that this debate was productive. Um, my opponent is a very competent person who I would be on board voting for if I did not pass signups, as I said before. But I think what needs to happen is a new standard of bipartisanship, and I will work towards that, and I think my candidate will work towards that too. But overall, everyone needs to be work towards that, and just that needs to be the understanding that if you're going into an elective office, you need to be just able to work with the other people that are also holding the same office as you. I yield.
All right. Thank you both for coming out to this debate. I will comment on one thing and one thing only, that after the beginning, this was pretty productive. The beginning was a complete mess, not gonna lie, with them. But yeah, I'd like to thank both of you for doing this. Jakers, I would like to thank you for letting me hold this debate. And yeah, that is all the time we have. Thank you, everybody who is watching the stream, for coming, and I hope this helped you out a lot with deciding your vote. Thank you. Good night, or good afternoon, whatever time it is for you.
Enjoyed that debate, and we wish you all good luck in the House elections coming up. Coming up later tonight on FTN will be a roundup of all the news we've missed on FTN News Tonight. Hope you. Well, that will be at 6 tonight. But thank you for watching this debate. Eden, why am I talking in a British accent? Well, anyways, hope you enjoyed the show. I know that I did. We will see you next time. Goodbye.